before our sun sails, and then we'll just keep chucking extra shoulder stuff in. If you've got really open shoulders, remember it's really important to make sure they're strong, not just stretchy. Or if, like me, you're in the stiff camp, you want to increase and improve your range of motion, but you want to make sure you stay in control of it. So just give yourself the usual wiggle and squiggle, maybe turn the hands around. And then let's come and spend 8 breaths exploring puppy. Now, this doesn't need to be a static hold. I'm going to suggest that you keep your hips over your knees, you draw the lower belly in, take the hands forwards and just press the chest down and pull back up. If you want to press down, take a breath in and out. And then pull back up into like a cat back, you can. Or you can do a static hold for the last 5 breaths, whatever works for you. Just try and feel in control and try and feel like the movement, the space is coming from the chest, the shoulders, rather than just jiggling your bum around. 2 more breaths here. Bring yourself up. Let's thread the right arm out under the left to thread the needle. And then let's take the left arm around behind, either onto the lower back, or maybe you can slide it round and tuck your fingers into your right thigh. Good, bring your left hand back down by the face, bring yourself back up, stretch that right arm out and thread the left one under. And then wrap the right arm round behind. Maybe finding that left thigh for the fingers. Good. Bring yourself back to centre. Press the hips all the way back to the heels and active into your child's pose. So press into the fingertips and get nice and long and stretchy through the arms, through the shoulders. And then maybe bringing a block in, or maybe using the mat, pressing your elbows down into the floor, bringing the hands together and bringing them up behind your head. So maybe they don't go behind the head, maybe they do. Try not to let your elbows go out to the side, okay? Try and keep them at shoulder width. Try and stay engaged. Bring the hands back out in front. Find active hands and lift the hips, tuck the toes, find your downward dog. Have a pedal, wiggle, waggle. And then let's walk the feet towards the hands. Finding a fold over your legs at the top of the mat. Holding elbows, hands across the back of the head, letting them trail, whatever feels good. And then roll yourself all the way up to standing. And come and find your mountain pose. Okay, so we'll start with the feet together or slightly apart, whatever works for you. Place them on purpose, with purpose. And then grow tall, up through the top of the head, down to the fingertips, long and strong. Through the whole body as you connect with your breath. Just find that Ujjayi breath if you can. 4 counts in, 4 counts out. Setting the pace for your practice. Let's use the next inhale to take the arms all the way up. Catch hold of a wrist or hold your elbow if you prefer. Lift up, lengthen tall through that side body. And then find as much lean as you can with the torso, but keeping the hips on top of the feet, or even stepping that same leg behind you. And finding even more space through that side body. When you're ready, come back to the middle, switch over, and off you go. Try not to throw your hips out to the side. Maybe take that same foot across behind the other one. the middle. Okay, let's bring both hands onto our elbows here. Don't worry about which way you've gone to begin with, but do pay attention to which way your forearms have crossed. We'll do the other side in a second. So if you can't hold your elbows, you can hold your wrists or whatever in between you need here. But really try, if you can, to feel the shoulder blades, to feel the chest, to feel the back. If you've got room to push the shoulders back, the elbows back, go for it. Just be careful it doesn't throw the ribs out and you don't end up with your bum stuck out behind you. Bend your knees a bit if you need. We're going to be doing this arm variation in our chair pose as well, so just a heads up. Right, so figure out which way around your arms are. I've got my right arm behind my left. Lift the arms up and switch. And you might find this feels alien, or maybe it feels better and you just didn't go into your default setting last time. Really try and keep those ribs in. Keep that tailbone in a neutral position. Good, reach the arms up. Big inhale, look through the hands, eyes go up. As you exhale, bring the hands down to your heart. Give the shoulders a shrug. And then close the eyes, drop the chin slightly. Find your breath as you take a moment to set the intention for your practice. Where is this energy going? You can always keep it for yourself, or maybe there's something, someone, somewhere else that needs it. No wrong answers. Okay, if you'd like to join me in an Om to open, you're very welcome. We'll take 2 more full breaths, and then Om our 3rd exhale. Inhale, take the hands and eyes up. As you exhale, hinge and fold forwards from the hips, hands to the floor. Inhale, look forwards, nice long spine, take the feet back. Maybe knees down as you wrap the elbows in. Exhale, shoulders forwards, chaturanga. Inhale and tuck the toes, press into the tops of the feet, lift the head and heart. Upward dog. Exhale, press the hips back, reach down through the heels. Maybe bring the feet forwards a little. Downward dog. So really find your shoulders here, not in the achy sense of that you're holding yourself up with them, but that you're pressing the floor down with your hands, drawing length through the arms by shifting the weight into your legs, and then trying to keep a bit of space between the shoulder blades, around the neck, and making the armpits look at the floor, or even hug in a little more towards the ears. Next, inhale, lift your hips and heels. Exhale, knees to chest, eyes forwards, keep your bum up. Take a step towards your hands. Inhale, lengthen out through your half fold. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, reset. 4 more. Start to jump whenever you feel ready. Please remember to land with bent elbows as you jump back and keep the hips high as you jump forward. So count 3. Lean into the hands. Lift the hips. Count 4. Hop the feet back. Land with soft elbows. 5. Upward dog. Open the chest. 6. Downward dog for 5 breaths. I'm going to take my twist early because I'm going to do it a few times. So maybe reaching one hand back towards the opposite leg. Maybe you're not ready for that yet. Feel free to keep wagging your tail, doing your own thing, or being totally still. Switch sides if you're twisting. all the way up. Exhale, reset. 3 more. Inhale, tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, load the hands, prepare. Find your way back and down. Opening up, really press the shoulder blades forward, roll the shoulder heads back. Exhale, downward dog. Another option in your downward dog is kind of like thread the needle arm. So rather than reaching back for your foot, you could press the right palm into the mat on the left side, or press the back of the right hand into the mat on the left side. Switch over, whatever you're doing. Come back to center. Inhale, pick up your dog. Exhale, compress. Come forwards. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Exhale, reset. 2 more. All the way up. All the way over. Moving with your breath, not waiting for me to tell you when. Just using my words as an idea. Downward dog. Okay, so I'm going to come into dolphin early. You don't have to. You might want to try dolphin dog if you prefer. So rather than trying to bring the shoulders over the elbows, keep the shoulders back. You can bend the knees. Breathe. Back to downward dog. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale, compress. Come forwards. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tall. Exhale, hands to heart. So last one, I'm not going to speak. Add or subtract any of the extra bits that we've already added in. Just find your way and we'll get back to the top together. Okay, I'll let you know when it's about time to leave downward dog. Okay, starting to think about finishing the round. Okay, on to B's. Inhale to chair, sit down, lift the hands and eyes. Exhale, fold over. Find your way through your vinyasa. From downward, let's step the right foot forwards. Inhale up to Crescent Lunge or Warrior One. Find your way back down through your vinyasa, maybe 2 chaturangas. Back to downward. Left foot steps forward. Use your inhale to lift up. And bring yourself back down to downward. Finding what you need. Use your inhale to pick it up. Exhale, compress. Come forwards. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Up you come. Okay, so we're going to do 4 more of these. Please feel free to join in with my suggestions, or just carry on like that. Keep it nice and chill. Remember, Crescent Lunge or Warrior One. Make sure you do one or the other, don't get lost. And add handstands and stuff as you wish, okay? Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Maybe a crow. Shoot the feet back. All the way through to downward. Right side steps up. Maybe a handstand vinyasa. Lifting that left leg and taking both back through your vinyasa. Left side. Same thing. Downward for 5. I'm adding a twist again because I just can't get enough of it. Ready to leave, so inhale, lift your dog. Exhale, compress, come forwards. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Up you come. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Maybe a crow. Back through chaturanga. Upward. Downward. Right foot steps forwards. Come on up. Maybe this time you go for a leg switch in your handstand. Landing that left foot down. Find your way. Back to downward. Maybe another dolphin or dolphin dog. Back to downward dog. Finish your round, pick it up. Compress. Come forwards. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Up you come. Okay, 2 more. I'm really warm tonight. I'm not going to speak. Please feel free to find your own extras or just do any or all of what we just did then, okay? Let's go. Find your way, trust your breath, use your rhythm, and I'll guide you out of the second one, ready to pause in our chair pose, okay? Off you go. finishing you around then, making your way towards your chair. Don't leave it, we're going to stay there for 5 breaths. So inhale, pick up your dog. Exhale, compress. Come forwards. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. And let's stay here. So first, find a tilt in your hips that feels good for you. And then give yourself a big hug. Crossing your arms in front. Feel your seat lift you up, but try not to stick your tail between your legs. Try not to have your bum stuck out behind you. Good. Just check which way around your arms are and change your hug. Good. Reach the arms out wide, turn the palms up, and then press the palms all the way up together over your head. So maybe you don't quite get there, maybe you can get them to touch, maybe you interlace your fingers and keep the index ones pointed. Check in with your ribs and your butt. Try not to have thrown everything forwards. That doesn't mean you can't make that shape, but it's intentional, not necessary for your hands to touch. Keep breathing. Explore, lifting the heart. Whatever hand options you've got, you could take your hands behind your head instead and press the elbows out to the side. Lift your heart, lift your ribs. Try and keep the hips in neutral. And then if you've got more space, you can reach your tailbone down out behind you, finding as much bend as feels good for you. Breathe. Good. Straighten out, pull those ribs in, get your hips back to neutral, and then come and take hold of the forearms or the elbows like we did to begin. Breathe here. Switch the cross of your arms. Good. Reach the arms up, palms face forwards. As you exhale next, you're going to press the palms all the way down and back up behind you as you fold your body onto your legs, finding skier pose. So press the palms down and back up. Bring the body onto the legs and try and find your hips at knee height. Breathe. Good. Turn the palms down. Press them forwards. And then bring the palms together as you sit down into your malasana. Feel free to wiggle your feet a bit wider as you need. And try and get your heels down, okay? So if you need to put something under them, do that now. Or keep your bum a bit higher. And then let your knees go out wide, using the strength of your legs. And then add the wedge of your elbows here. So breathe into this. Last one. Okay, option for crow pose if you want to. So, I don't know if any of you saw on my Instagram the other day, but you've got crow and you've got crane. You can also press your knees outside your arms or onto your arms. So, we're going to do all 4 now, and you can just pick and choose how many of them you have a go with, okay? So first, we're going to do crow, which is bent arms and knees on the outside, okay? Hands down, knees are outside your arms, shins kind of rest on the back of your upper arms, elbows stay bent. Look forwards, squeeze the feet together, and find your flight. Now, if you're comfortable pressing into the hands and pulling yourself up to crane, trying to straighten the arms, go for it. Otherwise, you could come down, reload, and have a go. So that's crane, with the knees outside. Crow with the knees on the back of the arms. This is the one that gives you mega bruises rather than friction burns. That's okay. So crow is bent arms, knees on the back. Look forwards, tip forwards, squeeze everything up. And if you can, you can try and pull up. You might need to put your knees higher up your arms. Shift forwards. Breathe there. Whatever you're doing, if you've got it in you to jump back through a vinyasa, I know we've just beasted everything, then go for it, otherwise find your way to downward dog however you like. And don't worry, we're going to take the standing series nice and slow. So let's set the right foot forwards, and we're going to come into a low lunge. So bring your right foot forward, then flex the left foot, so you run on the tiptoes, and bring the left knee down, and then just find your fingertips as you draw the lower belly in. From here, bring yourself up, and just try and establish right angles for now in your lunge, okay? We can go deeper in a minute, but for now, I want you to find the stretch through that left thigh, left hip by tucking the tailbone. Okay, so you could also do it by dropping everything forwards, but that puts a lot of pressure on the lower back. So let's find it first by tucking the tailbone. Okay? From here, you may or may not want a block down by your side to bring the floor up. We're going to take the arms up. We're going to bring the left hand down behind the head and take hold of the left elbow with the right hand. Press down into your left knee, keep that pelvic tilt, and lean to the right, breathing, lengthening out through that left side. If you like, you can bring your right hand down, reach out through that left arm. But try not to let anything else change. Try not to let your left shoulder fall forwards. Keep breathing. Good, bring yourself back up, go the other way. Right hand comes down behind the head, hold your right elbow with the left hand. And then press into the right foot, lift that right elbow. Keep that pelvic tilt. If you like, you can try and bring the left hand to the floor and reach through the right arm. Or, depending on how you feel, and please don't push it, just explore, you can try and slide that left hand along the left leg and maybe make a bit more of a back bend. Really push up with your shoulder blades. Don't just bend into your lower back. Much safer though when you're in this squarer lunge than a big deep low one. Good, bring yourself back to the middle. Have a little jiggle. So we're going to be coming up into Warrior 2. Your feet may well be a bit close together for that. So let's take the left foot back a little more and just prepare ourselves for a nice long lunge using your inhale to lift the hands, lift the left knee, and as you exhale, twist out, find your Warrior 2, correcting any alignment that you need here, maybe bringing the feet more into the middle of the mat, and checking that that right knee really goes forwards. Let's take a reverse warrior, so flip the left hand around behind you, maybe you can find your right thigh. Turn the right palm up. As you inhale, lift that right arm up. As you exhale, you can try and lean back, maybe bend into the right knee more, or you can drop the right hand down behind the head. If you've got the space, you can try and wiggle that left hand up, and maybe you can make, cow face arms. Try and make sure you've got a couple of knuckles worth of grip, that you're not just fingernails. Otherwise, just try and press the hands together with your shoulders rather than clinging on for dear life. Okay, let's reach the arms out wide. Okay, let's come into our triangle pose. So you're probably a little wide for that. You might not be, it's up to you. Wriggle your left foot forwards a fraction. Press down into the right one. Pull that right hip under as you pull that left hip, left shoulder up, up, up. And then slide the right arm down the inside of the right leg. So really focus here on how long you are rather than how straight you are. You could press your right hand down into a block, into the floor. Don't lean though, make sure you're still lifting up. Now options here, whether you get your right leg straight or not doesn't really matter. What matters is what happens to your torso as you explore this. So you're trying to get your right ribs to line up over your right thigh as you turn your left hand out behind you and then wrap it down Maybe you can tickle the outside of the right hip. Now really press into the floor, lift the pelvic floor, draw that lower belly in. Maybe you can thread the right arm under and you can take hold of your left hand or left wrist. Now the important thing here is that you can pull that left shoulder back on top. So if you need a strap, use a strap. Don't just bind and stay stuck looking at the floor. Make sure you can press yourself back open so your left side looks up at the ceiling. Go, release. Bring your hands down, either side of your right foot. Spin on the left toes and bend into the left knee as you pull the right toes up. You can keep that right knee bent. Just finding a little bounce here maybe. In a kind of elevated half split, I guess. And then let's press the right foot down into the mat. Hop that left foot forwards, place it flat, and get ready for pyramid. So draw the belly in. Right leg does not need to be straight, it just needs to be long and strong. Fold yourself over your right leg. Breathe here. Good. From here, options are to bring the left hand or a block inside or outside of the right foot. Press down and reach that right arm up, coming into twisted triangle. Now there is the option to bind the arms here around that front leg. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm probably going to fall over. But you can at least drop the right arm behind you and keep that right shoulder rolling up. Now if you can thread that right hand down so that you can really feel the outside of your left hip, it might be possible to really lock those legs and core as you maybe bring your left hand onto your right hip. I've bent my right knee a bit now to give me more balance. Take your feet a bit wider too. And then perhaps you can start to twist. Maybe you can thread the right arm under, left arm under, sorry, and connect the hands. Remember, with our triangle poses though, we are trying to keep the feet flat, but if you want to pick up the back heel, the left heel, and explore the bind, go for it. Maybe you can push it back down once you've got it. Lock these binds, once you're in, it's easier than that limbo in between. None of it's easy, that's a lie. It's slightly more balanceable. Chatting doesn't make any of it easier. Let's inhale all the way up to a warrior one. Maybe interlace the hands, maybe bring the hands behind the head. Press the elbows back. Bend into your right knee, push into your left heel. Keep strong in the belly and the lower back. As you inhale next, hands up. And as you exhale, twist out and just go wide again to wherever you need to be for your warrior two. Ready for your side angle, okay? Let's bring the right arm to the right leg. Reach the left arm forwards and roll that left side up. Press into the left foot, reach to the left hand. Good, let's slide deeper into that right knee, bringing the hips down. Maybe you can bring the right arm down inside the right leg. Press into the floor. Maybe you wrap the left arm round behind. Again, if you can find the outside of your right hip, right thigh, keep that left shoulder on top though. And then maybe you can thread the right arm under, with or without a strap, making the bind. Breathe. Good. Bring the hands down, both of them into the mat. Let's spin on the left toes. Bring the left knee down and just take a moment in your lizard here. If you want to make it a bound lizard again, around that right hip, you can, with or without lifting the left knee. So now your shoulders can face the floor. And then bring your left hand down into the mat. You can bring the left knee down again if you like. And reach that right arm up, twisting into the right leg. Really squeeze that right knee in. Maybe you push out through the left heel So the left knee lifts. Maybe you lift yourself right up and reach the arms out wide, or slide that left arm down the outside of the right leg. Maybe you wrap the right arm around behind you. Maybe you thread the left one under and make a bind. Good. Bring yourself back down to the middle. Feel free to find any transition you like. I'm going to go straight to all fours because this is intense talking and doing all of this, but if you need to do an arm balance vinyasa down dog all fours, go for it. Let's take all fours and then bring the hands in front of you, shoulder width, wrap the elbows under, bring them down into the mat. Now, we're going to do like a knee plank here, so be really careful that your belly doesn't drop down, that you stay here in your all fours, but obviously your lower body is, your upper body, sorry, is slightly lower than your hips. Okay, from here, bring the hands together in prayer. Try and keep lifting through the upper arms as you lower the head down towards the mat, and then lift yourself back up. Down towards the mat, don't let anything else change, you're just moving up and down in the shoulders here. You're not wiggling your bum around. Good. If you feel comfortable doing this with your legs in a plank, go for it. If you feel comfortable doing this in dolphin, go for it. Really press into the elbows. Lift yourself up away from the floor. Good. Bring the knees down. Take them wide maybe as you bring the toes together. Push the hips back to the heels. Find child's pose. Any arm variation that works for you. Ones to feel good maybe right now would be arms long, palms up, or hands together behind the head, elbows at shoulder width. If your shoulders are totally smoked, maybe take the elbows wide and have your hands behind your head, or your arms long around your legs. Good. Bring your hands down with or without a vinyasa. Find your way through to downward dog. Okay, let's bring the left foot forwards. Come onto the right toes. Bring the right knee down. Belly on as you bring yourself up to your right angle lunge. Okay, so really be strong and steady there. Just check that you haven't got your foot and knee in line. You want approximately hip width between them. Okay, let's take the arms all the way up. And then take hold of the elbows one way. Good, really press the tailbone down so you feel that stretch through the right thigh, right hip, but you keep yourself in the middle, no pressure on the lower back. Switch the cross of the arms. Okay, let's bring the right hand down behind the head, holding the left elbow. Press down into the right knee, push that right elbow up. Maybe you need a block to your left side, maybe not. As you perhaps bring the left hand down towards the floor. Come back up. Bring the left hand down behind the head. Press into the left foot. Lift that left side longer. Keep those hips in neutral, but engaged, like a neutral tilt, but not off. As you bring the right hand down, maybe you reach out through the left arm. Maybe you explore taking that right hand back to your calf or to your heel. You explore a bit of a back bend, really pressing up with the back of the body. Don't just bend in the middle. Good, come back to center. Maybe go a little longer into your lunge, ready to lift up to crescent. So as we inhale, let's take the arms up, lift that right knee, and as you exhale, find your warrior two. Okay, so just adjust as you need. You're going to wrap the right arm round behind for reverse warrior. As you flip the left palm, you use an inhale to lift that left arm, and maybe your exhale, you can start to bend deeper into the left knee, or at least don't come out of it. Maybe you drop the left hand down behind you. Maybe you can wriggle that right hand up and make your cow face bind. Maybe not. You can't see this side, but I can tell you I'm not touching even close. Nowhere near. Reach yourself back out, ready for triangle. So shift that right foot forwards a fraction, and when you're ready, roll the hips back as you reach forwards and bring that whole right side up on top, sliding the left arm down the inside of the left leg. Use a block so that you can really press down rather than desperately trying to find your fingertips on the floor. Bring the floor to you. Maybe you wrap the right arm down behind and you brush the outside of your left thigh. You don't need to have a poker straight leg here. What's more important, I think, is that you don't tip into the floor. So if you're going to explore your bind, feel free to bend your knee. Just really concentrate on keeping your right side looking up. Keeping your right hip, right shoulder on top. And then if you can shift the hips back and straighten out that left leg a bit, go for it. Good, bring the hands down to frame the left foot. Then spin on the right toes as you bend into the right knee and lift the left toes. Keep that left knee softer if you like. As you explore your half splits here. And press the left foot down. Just pop that right foot forwards a fraction so you can get it flat into the mat as you explore your pyramid pose here. And then right hand comes across onto a block if you need, inside or outside the left foot as you spin that left shoulder up. Stay here, or maybe wrap the left arm round behind. Maybe you can bring the right hand to the left hip. Might just take your feet a bit wider. Or maybe thread the right arm under and connect the hands. The key is to try not to fall out, but to come out under some kind of control. As you inhale, lift up into your warrior one. Bring your hands behind your head, press the elbows back. And open out into warrior two. Ready for side angle. Bring the left arm to the left leg. Reach that right arm forwards, roll that right side up. Press into the right foot, reach through the right hand. If you're coming down, come down as one long line. Bringing the left hand to the floor maybe, or a block. Still pushing that right shoulder up on top. Maybe wrapping the right arm round behind. Maybe threading the left arm under, but keeping that right shoulder on top. Good, let's come down into lizard. So spin on the right toes. You can bring the right knee down. Maybe you go for another bind around the left hip, keeping the shoulders, the chest facing the mat. Maybe you push out through the right foot, lift the right knee again. Bring the right knee down, bring the right hand into the mat as you lift the left arm and twist into the left leg. Keep that left knee pulling in. Push out through the right knee. Or leave it down. You can come up, keeping the arms out wide, or slide that right arm down the outside of the left leg. Maybe wrap the left arm behind. Maybe you can thread the right arm under. Good. Untangle. Again, if you want to do something creative, find your way. I'm going to go straight back to all fours. Let's take a puppy, and then we'll do dolphin and pincher as per usual. So keep the belly lifted, the hips are in at least neutral, maybe even tuck them under a bit to start with. Take your hands out in front, maybe fingertips, while you just press down into the chest a bit more. Then flat hands. You could hold the edge of your mat if you like, and explore pressing the chest down without throwing the bum up in the air. Sure, keep your bum lifted, keep your hips on top of your knees, but don't throw your hips forwards. Try and keep them engaged in that neutral position. Alright, bring yourself back. So options, dolphin plank, keeping the body as flat as you can, shoulders on top of the elbows, nice and long. Dolphin dog, as we did in our warm-up, shoulders are behind the elbows, but hips are high. Don't worry about straight legs. Dolphin dolphin, shoulders are on top of the elbows. Again, legs, don't worry so much. Maybe even try taking your feet as wide as your mat. And then pincher, if you're going for it, remember kick up and lift out of the ground. Give yourself another 12 breaths to explore whatever works for you. Use the next couple of breaths to keep playing, or add them to your rest pose if you like. Feel free to walk the hands side to side in child's, or find thread the needle again if that feels good. Alright, finding your way to your high plank. So bring your hands down, press them into the mat. Maybe, if you feel like it, you can bring the knees in narrower. Try and keep the tops of the feet in the mat and push so you lift the knees. So you stretch out the front of the feet. If it's available too, you can lift the hips more. Shift the shoulders over the wrists, and then push the feet back out and adjust into your high plank as you need. You can continue taking the shoulders beyond the wrists if you like, keeping on the tops of the feet, but really make sure you're pulling away from the mat. Breathe. We're going to come down as slowly as you can to your front. Bring your knees down if you need to, okay? Remember, if you're bringing your knees down, you want them behind your hips so that you can come forwards in your low chaturanga. Otherwise, in your high plank, come down, Shoulders forwards, elbows bend. Breathe. At least one full breath in and out, maybe more. Bring yourself down onto your front. And let's do a couple of, you can do cactus rolls and maybe hold for 8 breaths on each side. I'm going to do a more dynamic twist, so I've got my arms out in a T. So I'm going to lift my right foot, push it up, and try and touch my left hand. Do what you need with your head, breathe as you need. Come back to the middle. Feel free to just explore it slowly and keep breathing, or have a go at rocking side to side. Couple more. Try not to move your hand to your feet. And then bring yourself back to the middle. You can keep your arms out wide, or you can bring them underneath you to support you, whatever works. Let's flex the right foot and bend the right knee. Now push the pelvis into the mat and then push the right foot up. So your right hip point stays in the mat. Breathe. You can pulse, or you can just push. Keep breathing. And release. Left side, plug the top right foot in the mat and then flex the left one and push the sole of the left foot up as you keep the left hip in the mat. Pulse, or just breathe. Good, release. Bring the legs together. Again, arms can be wherever works for you. Try not to be too active in the upper body. You're going to reach out through your toes. So your feet lift, your shins lift, your knees lift, your thighs lift maybe. Breathe. If you like, keeping the leg lift if you can, reach out through your nose. Feel your head, chin, chest start to lift. Maybe you lift the arms. Keep breathing. And release. Take a moment here, just wobbling the hips, side to side. And then we're going to find our way back up either to all fours or to high plank. So bring your hands near your chest, near your shoulders. Squeeze those elbows in, tuck the toes, press into the knees, lift the hips away first. And then draw in the belly and the chest as you press down into the hands. And either knees stay down or they come up as you push up to your high plank, and then downward dog. Find fingertips, both hands. Start to walk your hands back so you can feel the weight in your feet. Let's rock forwards and back. Forwards and back. Forwards and whoosh back. Taking hold of your big toes at the back of your mat. Softening the knees so you can hinge from the hips. Let's come into our forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen out through the spine. Exhaling, folding forwards and down. Breathe here. Try not to be heavy in the heels. Try not to throw the hips back. Lift them up. Don't force the knees straight. Keep the legs strong. Keep the belly strong. Let's switch over and do palms under feet. So rock onto the heels. Bring the hands under. Inhale to begin. Exhale. Fold forwards. Forwards, then down. And stay forwards. Don't go forwards, down, back. Keep coming forwards. Lift those heels in your mind, even if they don't leave the mat. Breathe. Release. Okay, let's just hang nice and heavy here for a moment over the legs. And then we're going to play with some more fun shapes. So let's inhale all the way up to standing on our tiptoes. Just a little bit of closed eyes. So breathe here, balance here. Don't worry, balance doesn't mean you don't wobble around a bit, just manage it. Balance means you don't fall over. You can totally walk around. Keep breathing. And release. Okay, let's step out wide. So we'll do our usual forward folds and then we'll get a bit more playful, okay? So your feet are roughly under your wrists-ish, but maybe you can't see yourself so you don't know. Just find somewhere that doesn't feel like it's too wide, but feels considerably wider than narrow legs. Toes are straight ahead or ever so slightly in, and feel that torque in the inner thighs so that you can turn the legs in, okay? You want to feel that pull to pull your body in. Hands on your hips. Inhale, lift up tall, squeeze the elbows together. And as you exhale, reach through your chin, feel your toes grip the mat, keep coming forwards. Forwards, more forwards. Keep going forwards, downwards, don't go backwards. Squeeze those elbows together. Roll yourself all the way up and let's take the arms up overhead. Nice big inhale. Look up, lift your heart. Bring your hands down behind you as you exhale and interlace them. Next inhale, lengthen the arms, but try not to lock the elbows. Use your shoulders. And as you exhale, chin forwards. Arms reach out. Lift them up. Remember, you can use a strap here if interlacing your hands feels weird. Breathe. Keep reaching forwards. Good. Bring your hands down onto your back. As you inhale your body flat to the floor, reach the arms out wide. Exhale, grab hold of ankles or big toes, maybe placing your thumbs in the mat as a kickstand. Inhale, look forwards, lean forwards. As you exhale, forwards, bringing the crown of the head down towards the floor. Breathe. Lift yourself up. Bring your right hand down into your face and spin that left hand up. Lift up tall. Maybe reach it round behind you. Tucking it into your right thigh, right hip. Maybe you come down onto the right elbow or reach across for the right ankle. Try not to sit back in the hips. Come back to center. Press the left hand down as you reach the right hand up. Maybe wrap the right hand around behind. Maybe explore coming down onto the left elbow. Remember, you can use a block to bring the floor up. Or maybe you can hold the right ankle. Bring yourself back to the middle and let's roll all the way up. Elbows onto thighs as you turn your heels in, toes out and sit as deep as you can into a squat here. So don't worry about your shoulders being on top of your hips for now, just explore Trying to get the thighs parallel to the floor and trying to get the knees on top of the ankles. Now we're going to press up into goddess. So as you stand up, you want to bring your shoulders up over your hips. If you need to adjust the width of your feet when you get there, go for it, but try and tuck the hips under a bit so you press them out wide. Remember, you only really want your toes as far out as your knees can keep up. Then ribs in, shoulders in. Breathe here. So I really like side bending in goddess. So slide your right hand across to your left thigh or left hip. And that might feel like enough. Or maybe you can start to roll that left shoulder back as you start to bring that right side down towards the right thigh. Try not to let anything else change. If you like, you can take the left arm up and over. One day I'm going to be able to hold my right leg with my left hand, but for now, I'll just reach. Good, bring yourself back to center. And then explore sliding that left hand across to the right thigh. Maybe that's enough. Or maybe you can roll that right shoulder up, lean those left ribs down to the left leg, and maybe lift the right arm. Bring yourself back to the middle. Final goddess idea is to go for crisscross arms. So maybe you stay high and try and cross your hands across your thighs. You might want a narrower goddess. Obviously, if you've got big boobs, this might not work for you. But you might be able to find one holding just below your knees or holding your ankles. Or you can, maybe with a slightly narrower stance, try and do it on tiptoes. So holding the front of your ankles or the shins, pushing the knees forwards, breathing into this. Good, release the heels, bring the hands down and start to wiggle your feet out, ready for your middle splits. Good, keep breathing and exploring. Maybe you bring the elbows down. Just don't collapse into your shoulders. Stay strong. Wiggle your feet in a little. Let's spin round over the right leg, bringing the left knee down, keep the left toes tucked. And you can explore any kind of lengthener of that back thigh as you like. Lizard twist is my favourite, but feel free to come up into a higher lunge or to stay in regular lizard. Breathe deep and pay attention to your pelvic tilt. Try not to collapse into the lower back. Try and push the tailbone in, down. Don't let it fly up out behind you. Carefully release that left foot down if it's up. Maybe you have a go with your half splits now, stretching out the hamstring again. We've done quite a lot of hamstrings today though. So options are to explore your full splits. So one variation I've seen on Instagram, be careful, don't be silly, but I just want to give you guys fun options, is where you support the front leg with your hands. So if you can, you don't have to have a straight leg, mine isn't yet, if you can get yourself down onto your elbows here and bring your hands under your ankle, under your foot, and then push out through that foot, bring some weight into the forearms, and then either point the toes or flex the toes. Just pay attention to your left hip. It's quite a fun variation. Eventually this can be a flying splits, where you stay on your elbows, but I tend to rest right down onto my forearms for now, because I'm not ready for the other one yet. If you're getting quite comfortable in your front splits, that's a good way to add extra work to that front leg. Find your way around through the middle, nice and careful. Bring those feet together a little as you spin round over the left leg, and drop the right knee, and do whatever you need to get into that right thigh. Releasing the right foot down, spin yourself a little more open and maybe slip the hips back to get into that half split, or creeping the left foot forwards, bring the hands down, exploring maybe your supported full splits. Remember to stay active all the way to your toes. And bringing yourself down onto your bottom. Bringing the soles of your feet together, hips in, or heels in, whatever works. Holding your ankles or your feet, just try not to crush them together as you press the knees down, keeping space across the collarbones. Breathing. You can fold forwards and flat if you like. Keeping nice and long, or you could drop the head and round the back. And then let's do a quick boat. Okay, so zip in and up, drawing the knees under the chin, lift up tall through the back of the body. Breathe here, spread that strength out to the edges. Okay, we're going to cross the ankles, bring the heels, feet down, hands down, and try and lift the bum. Back up into boat. Two more. Okay, so if you can notice which way you cross your ankles, try and do it differently each time. And if you can lift your feet as well, go for it. If you've got blocks, it will make it more available. Crossing, lifting. Sit back down. Last one. Crossing the ankles. Find your way up. And, whew. Okay. Hands behind you, fingers face your bum. When you're ready, reverse tabletop, and if you want to, you can explore L-sits as well. Just remember you need to get your hips back through your arms, keep the shoulders forwards in order to get the feet to lift off. But reverse tabletop first. Press into the feet, press into the hands, and push the front of the body up. Breathe. Okay, slowly starting to lower the hips, trying to pull them back between your hands. Maybe staying on the heels, maybe lifting one leg at a time, maybe both. And then push back up, or have a mini break if you need. To your reverse tabletop. Two more. 3 or 4 breaths in each place. Come on down. Last one. Come on down, through to L-sit. All the way down onto your back, holding your ankles if you can as you lie down, otherwise keeping your hands on the mat. Bring your heels as close to your hips as possible. Remember, keep your feet and knees in line, that doesn't have to be hip width. And press the front of the body up into bridge, trying to bring the outsides of the shoulders beneath you. So optional here, if you've got a block, you could place it under the back of your pelvis, under the back of your hips. If you haven't got a block like me, you can bring your hands under so you rest on your elbows. Don't lean on your elbows, but your elbows are there to help support you. And then if it's available, you can try and either, like I'm doing now, tuck your toes under so you just get a bit of a stretch through the front of your foot. Or maybe, with the help of your hand, you can tuck your toes under a bit more and then try and lift up, getting a bit more stretch through the front of the hips. Switch sides.
with bridgy things, or if you want to come up into wheel, remember, use your legs. Take your time to help your legs press your arms straight and push your heart to the head end of your mat. You can use tiptoes if you need. Make sure you're breathing. Finding your way down and finding whatever counter you fancy. Shoulder stands and plows, waterfalls, happy baby, or as I've been doing recently, I'm going to do now, active compression, trying to pull the toes to the back of the wrist with your arms overhead, and then roll the back down into the mat while keeping your feet on your arms. It's definitely not a resting pose, but it is a counter to a back bend. And then find your way onto your back, starting to roll forwards and backwards, finding the length of your spine, a couple of nice steady rolls. Crossing the ankles, rolling through, finding downward dog. And let's do our pigeons, sliding that right leg forwards. Remember, you can always prop your right hip up if you need. Wriggle that left leg back. And then come down nice and long. Feel free to add any twists or binds or any extra bits to your pigeons as you like. I'm just going to do sleeping pigeon today, resting my head on my hands. Lift and lengthen the spine as you come up. For now, bringing the right hip down, bring the left leg round, and tangle into your half lord of the fishes here. Trying to keep that left hip down, breathing deeply. Take your shoulders the other way. And then choose either cow face, sliding that left leg off to the right a bit more, or double pigeon, stacking the shins, keeping the feet flexed. Maybe folding forward over the legs in either of them, or adding any extra arms that work for you. Finding your way back to a boat. 3, 2, 1. Cross over, flip through your vinyasa. All the way to downward. And let's do the left side. Find your way into pigeon. Whatever you need, support, extras. Breathe steady. Lift and lengthen. Find your way up. Onto the left hip as you bring the right leg round. Get that right hip back down. And twist
into your half lord. Take the shoulders the other way. And then come in cow face or double pigeon, whatever you need to do. And then if you want to do another boot and vinyasa and all the rest of it, feel free. I think you've earned yourself a nice shavasana, so feel free to start it straight away, adding any extra layers, any props you might want beneath you for support. Just making sure that you are really comfortable. We've worked hard today, back to front, inside out, upside down. So do take time to set yourself up ready for a nice rest. After all the efforts of practice, it's important we give our body the chance to process and do whatever you need to do with all of what you've found. Redistribute the energy that you've harnessed. Get rid of anything you no longer need. And just take a little bit of time to come down off that yoga high before you head back into the real world. Scanning head to toe, toes to head, checking that you are warm enough and comfortable, and you're able to sink down into the support, settling into whatever's beneath you. As you come and watch your breath, as it settles back to its natural rhythm, and just taking a moment to be truly grateful for it, bringing in what you need, taking out what you don't. And as your body and your breath settle, invite your mind to join. Not to stop or turn off, but becoming an observer without reaction, allowing thoughts, distractions to come and go without following as you let yourself rest. You did the best you could today, and that is always enough. As you feel a softness start to spread through the toes, feet, ankles, legs heavy as your knees, bottom, hips relax. All the way up your spine, your whole back, shoulders melting down, your belly soft, and your chest open. Length of your arms relaxing, releasing your elbows, wrists, hands, fingers, neck and throat free, letting go of your jaw, lips, teeth, tongue, and your whole face soft. Cheeks, eyes, forehead, the back of your head, your whole body, soft, heavy, and relaxed, as you bring your attention in. Either resting at the space between your eyebrows or in heart center.
attention back to your breath. Feeling that cool inhale fill you up, new space, new energy. And that warm exhale, carrying away anything that no longer serves you. As you feel each breath, bring a little more energy in. Feel it start to build, start to spread. Down the arms to the fingers, down the legs to the toes. Finding a little wiggle. And a little bit more. As you reconnect your mind and your body with your breath. Shifting your attention, bringing back movement, piece by piece. Toes to nose. Maybe stretching all the way out. Tucking all the way in. And giving yourself a big hug. And say thank you to you for this time today. Time to explore, time to connect. Facing challenges with courage, kindness, playfulness and patience. And taking all of that with you, along with the peace and calm that you've created, into the rest of your day, the rest of the week. Keeping the eyes closed if you can, carefully coming up to a comfortable seat. And once you're there, just rolling the head around, stretching out the neck. Back to the middle. Next inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, drop. 2 more. Bringing your hands to prayer at your heart. Just taking a moment to remind yourself where the energy of your practice is going today. You can keep it for you, send it out into the world. And if you'd like to join me in an arm to finish, you're very welcome. Inhaling. Bring your prayer to your forehead. Always think good thoughts. Your prayer to your lips. Always speak good words, especially to yourself. And returning your hands to your heart. Always do good things. Opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember you can keep in contact with the addresses on the screen. I'd love to hear from you. Namaste.